Good morning to everyone present here. On behalf of Xavier Institute of Business Administration, a Jesuit Business School of St. Xavier's College, Palayamkottai, I extend a warm and cordial welcome to all the distinguished guests, eminent speakers, academicians, researchers, and participants who have joined us for this international conference on Resilience 2.0, driving sustainable business development in a hyper-connected economy. Today, the world stands at a remarkable crossroads. The digital revolution has connected markets, people, and ideas like never before. A disruption in one corner of the world can instantly ripple across continents. From climate change and technological disruption to evolving consumer expectations and global uncertainties, businesses today operate in an environment that demands not only innovation but also resilience. Resilience in the modern context is no longer just the ability to recover from setbacks, it is the capacity to anticipate change, adapt to agility, and transform challenges into opportunities for sustainable growth. At the same time, the context of sustainability reminds us that growth must not come out of at the cost of our environment, our communities, or our future generations. Therefore, the question before us today is not simply how businesses can survive disruptions, but they can thrive responsibly in a hyper-connected world. This conference, Resilience 2.0, invites scholars, industry leaders, and practitioners to rethink the future of business through the lenses of innovation, sustainability, ethical leadership, and technological advancements. As we begin today's proceedings, let us reflect on the fundamental question: how can organization harness the power of technology and human intelligence to build business that are not only profitable but also resilient, responsible, and sustainable? With this thought, we now move forward to the most enriching part of our conference, the insights from our distinguished speakers who will help us decode these complex dynamics. Let us begin this meaningful academic gathering by invoking the blessings of the Almighty. I now request you to rise up for the prayer song.
You are here, moving in us. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you.
Leadership is not merely about guiding an institution, it is about inspiring minds, nurturing values, and shaping the future of society through education. He owns these leadership qualities, and it is my privilege to invite Reverend Father Michael John S.J., the director of ZIBA, to deliver the welcome address and set the tone for today's conference. Father, please.
It is not the strongest of the species that survives, not the most intelligent, but the one most responsive to the change, said by Charles Darwin. In today's hyper-connected global economy, This insight is more relevant than ever. Businesses that respond creatively, sustainably to change are the ones that will shape the future. Distinguished chief guests, respected dignitaries, esteemed scholars and researchers, industry leaders, faculty members, and my dear loving students. Good morning to you all. It is my great privilege and honor to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each one of you to this international conference on the theme Resilience 2.0, driving sustainable business development in a hyper-connected economy. We are particularly delighted to welcome our distinguished speakers, scholars, industry experts, and participants who have gathered here from various institutions and organizations. Your presence today reflects a shared commitment to understanding and shaping the future of business in an increasingly interconnected and dynamic world. At the outset, I am really delighted to welcome Reverend Father Godwin Rufus, the principal, a Jesuit priest, an educationist belonging to the Madurai province. He has served in the field of higher education for several years, particularly in English language and literature. Over the years, he has taught and served in reputed Jesuit institutions such as St. Xavier's College, Palayangottai, Arlanadar College, Karmathur, and St. Joseph's College, Tiruchirappalli. Father Godwin Rufus assumed leadership roles in Jesuit higher education and became the principal of St. Xavier's College, Palayangottai, contributing to academic development, institutional growth, and student formation. Known for his commitment, simplicity, and leadership, and he is a very good speaker and animator. He continues to guide students and staff with dedication and vision. We put our hands to welcome Reverend Father Dr. Godwin Rufus, the principal of St. Xavier's College. In absentia, Mr. Guruswamy, the regional manager of State Bank, is unable to be present here. So we welcome Mr. Guruswamy, the RM of State Bank of India. And we are also delighted to welcome Ms. Janet Dhanraj, Strategic Talent Acquisition Head, Architect of Future Ready Talent Ecosystem, Chennai. We are happy to welcome you, ma'am. We live in an era where economies, technologies, and societies are deeply intertwined. A disruption in one corner of the world can ripple across continents within minutes. From global supply chain disruption to digital revolutions and climate challenges, the modern business environment demands not merely survival, but adaptive resilience. The theme of this conference, Resilience 2.0, invites us to rethink resilience not simply as the ability to recover from shocks, but as the capacity to anticipate change, innovate continuously, and grow sustainably, even in uncertain environments. Today's hyper-connected economy is characterized by rapid technological transformation, digital integration, and complex global networks. In such a context, sustainable business development cannot be pursued in isolation. It requires collaboration among academia, industry, policymakers, and society. This conference aims to provide a meaningful platform for dialogue, intellectual exchange, and interdisciplinary collaboration. Through keynote addresses, research presentations, and discussions, we hope to explore innovative strategies that can help organizations build resilient systems while maintaining ethical responsibility and environmental sustainability. We believe that the insights generated here throughout the day will contribute not only to academic discourses but also to practical solutions for businesses and communities navigating the complexity of the modern global economy. Therefore, my dear friends, Resilience 2.0, driving sustainable business development in a hyper-connected economy. The idea of resilience in business has evolved significantly. Traditionally, resilience meant the ability of an organization to withstand crisis and return to normal operations. However, in today's hyper-connected global environment, resilience has moved to a new stage, that is resilience 2.0. Resilience 2.0 is not merely about bouncing back, it is about bouncing forward. It emphasizes adaptability, innovation, digital transformation, and sustainability as integral elements of business strategy. In a hyper connected economy, businesses are part of complex networks involving digital platforms, global supply chain, data ecosystems, and stakeholders' communities. This interconnectedness brings unprecedented opportunities, but also new avenues. A cyber attack, environmental disruption, shift can rapidly affect businesses across borders. Therefore, resilient organizations today must cultivate three key capacities. First, adaptive intelligence. Second, technological integration. Third, sustainable responsibility. Thus, Resilience 2.0 represents a shift from reactive management to proactive transformation. It calls for leaders who can balance profitability with sustainability, innovation with ethics, and growth with responsibility. In essence, resilient businesses are those that do not merely endure change, but shape the future through responsible innovation and sustainable vision. I sincerely thank the organizers, Dr. Ramkumar and Dr. Rita Rebecca and others for making this particular event a meaningful one. Your dedication and hard work are truly commendable. Once again, I warmly welcome all the participants and wish you a productive and enriching conference experience filled with meaningful conversations, new ideas, and fruitful collaboration. Thank you and welcome once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Father, for your inspiring words of welcome. As a token of love and gratitude, I request for the director to present a memento to Father Principal. As a token of love and appreciation, I request for the Principal to present a memento to our first keynote speaker, Ms. Janet Dhanraj. It is a great privilege to have with us a visionary academic leader who has been instrumental in strengthening the academic excellence and value-based education of St. Xavier's College, Palayamkottai. His leadership reflects the true spirit of Jesuit education, promoting intellectual growth, social responsibility, and holistic development among students. A scholar, an administrator, and an inspiring mentor, he continues to guide the institution with wisdom, dedication, and a deep commitment to forming responsible leaders for society. With great honor and respect, I now invite Reverend Dr. Godwin Rufus S.J., the esteemed principal of St. Xavier's College, to deliver the inaugural address and formally inaugurate the International Conference on Resilience 2.0, Driving Sustainable Business Development in a Hyper-Connected Economy. Father, please.
Thank you. Respected dear Father Michael John, the director of ZIBA, distinguished speaker of the day, Ms. Janet, respected faculty members, scholars, and my dear MBA students, on this cozy and cute Wednesday, I wish you all a happy, good morning to you all. Good morning to you all. We are living in a world where a tweet in a corner of the globe can affect stock markets in another. A startup born in a small town can change and challenge the global giant. That is the power and also the pressure of a hyper-connected economy. Power on one side, pressure on the other side. And we happen to create a hyper-connected economy. Where are we? My dear students, I have a 100-rupee note. Who wants it? Wonderful, very good. I have a 100-rupee note. Who wants it? Only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a 100-rupee note, and who wants it? I know everyone will dream of it. Everyone will have a desire for it, but none in this group is a daring person. Nobody came forward. Nobody came forward. I just asked you a question. How many of you want this 100 rupee? I thought all of you would have come, but I had only 200 rupees. I was praying to the Lord that none of you should come, and I succeeded. My dear wonderful students of MBA and research scholars, today we do not want dreamers. Today we do not want people who desire. Today we want people who could dare. Only daring people can make the world go round, especially in this corporate world. It is not capital that is important. It is not even the idea that is important, but the information that you have gained and the daring spirit that you should have will make you a legend, to make you a person go around the world. I'll start with some failures. Let me describe a failure. You can tell me which company it is. A company launched a product that failed badly. Customers rejected it initially, but the company learned from the failure and became one of the world's most valuable brands. Which company do you think this is? Any guess? There are many. Any guess which are the leading company? Apple. Apple and another one is Netflix. Both had a thorough failure in the very beginning, but they were ready to learn from the mistakes, and therefore today now they become great. Students, realize that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of resilience. Therefore, resilience 2.0 or O is not about avoiding failures. It is about learning faster than others. From small idea to global giants. Now that you have already started thinking like a CEO and innovators, let us reflect on how resilience can drive sustainable business development in this hyper-connected world. Again, a question. This company started in a small apartment with just a few employees. This person did not even have a small capital. Therefore, he had to get it from his wife by name Sudha. Today, it is one of the largest IT consulting firms in the world. It has become the corporate governance and it is known for corporate governance and ethical leadership. Can you answer? Infosys. Very good. Let us congratulate ourselves. Wonderful. Who is the CEO of Infosys? Narayana Murthy. Very good. Resilience is not only surviving storms, but building institutions that last for generations. The village to global innovation. You might have got my answer, I think. This company runs major global software services. Yet, its founder believes innovation can come from villages rather than big cities. It has offices in rural India and works with global companies. Which company follows this unique model? Zoho, wonderful. Let us congratulate ourselves again. Again, this Indian company has been investing heavily in electric vehicles and renewable energy. It is transforming automobile sector towards green mobility. Who is that? Tata Motors. Okay, Tata Motors. Okay, though they're all one institution, they have a brand, Tata Motors. Okay, I can go on and on like this. Just I want to put forth three important points which you can deliberate. Resilience means turning crisis into opportunity. I'm not going to take a wonderful class like your great teacher and innovator, Dr. Father Michael John, but I am a storyteller. I'm just a storyteller. There was one man. That man came to a particular place and saw everyone poor. He thought, why can't I start a bank for these poor people who will be able to run agricultural farms well? They will not yield themselves to money lending mafias. And therefore, he took the courage to go and meet one by one and collect money, and he started a bank. Can you name the bank? Grameen, by Muhammad Yunus in 1984. Today, the villagers no need to go and fall prostrate in front of money-giving zamindars, but a single person's initiative has given eyes to the world that even capital could be taken from simple people. Muhammad Yunus, the winner of the Nobel Prize. Resilience is not merely surviving disruption, it is reimagining possibilities during disruption. Today, you also live in a digital connectivity, and this demands greater for us. The rise of Zoho Corporation shows how an Indian technology company built global software products while remaining rooted in rural India. Not necessary you should go to United States of America. For to many, it is the dream. Some of you will have a little dream like going to Singapore or Malaysia or even New Zealand. And some of you here would think Bangalore is better than Chennai. And some of you would think Chennai is better than Tirunelveli. But imagine in Tirunelveli, you have Zoho, not in the capital of Palayam Kotai, but in a suburb called, where is it? Where is it? Where in Palayam Kotai? I mean, it is in Tirunelveli. Where? I think some of you might have gone there. Kadaidalur? No. It starts with T and ends with Aruvai. Very good, great. Taruvai, very good. They have started it in Taruvai. What does it mean? Knowledge can be anywhere. It is you and I who have to contribute. My dear wonderful MBA scholars, resilience in the 21st century business world is not merely the ability to recover, it is the courage to innovate, the wisdom to sustain, the agility to adapt, and the integrity to lead. May this wonderful conference on Resilience 2.0, driving sustainable business development in a hyper-connected economy, give you fruits to deliberate, give you thoughts to inspire, and aspire for greater things. On this occasion, may I happily and joyfully inaugurate this international conference open. Thank you. God bless you all.
Thank you, Father, for those inspiring and enlightening thoughts. We now move to our first keynote session. It is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Janet Dandraj, Strategic Talent Acquisition Head and an architect of future-ready talent ecosystems. She will deliver her keynote address on building intelligent enterprises, leveraging data, artificial intelligence, and analytics for sustainable growth. Ms. Janet Dandraj, Strategic Talent Acquisition Head at Illumin Industries, with over 11 years of global experience across Europe, the United States, India, and the Middle East. She specializes in building future-ready talent ecosystems, particularly in engineering and sustainability domains. She has previously worked with leading organizations such as Frost and Sullivan India Private Limited and Sun Edison Private Limited, gaining deep expertise in global workforce transformation and sustainable talent strategies. Passionate about shaping the future of work, she actively mentors young professionals and bridges industry and academia through initiatives that prepare future leaders for a dynamic global economy. With great pleasure, may I now invite Ms. Janet Dandraj to deliver her keynote address. Ma'am, please.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I think you're all youngsters. This energy is not needed. Come on. Good morning. Am I audible without? Yes. No. Okay. Have you all had your breakfast? I think the energy level is little less. Come on. Let's say a final good morning again. Good morning. Very nice. So, you're operating. Right. Attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want you all to take out your phones, mobile phones, please. You don't have mobile phones. You're such a good children. Okay, so let's skip this. Let's move on to the presentation. So why are we here? Okay, let me pick some of you and ask, why are you here? Very nice. And others, let me pick fourth row, fourth person from this side. You're the one. You're looking around. White shirt. Why are you here? What is the purpose?
Resilience 2.0 to attend.
So we all have come for Resilience 2.0, and what is the key takeaway for you from the conference here? Okay. The next person, let's move on to the girls' side. Fifth from last row. Fifth row from the last. The first one, purple kurta. Why are we here? May I know your good name?
Abhinaya.
Abhinaya. She's smiling. She's got the cutest smile. Yes, Abhinaya. Why are we here?
International Conference.
International conference, right? And what do you want to learn from this conference? What do you want to take away from this conference?
To learn,
Come on, students.
to learn from my sustainability.
To learn from the sustainability standpoint, right? I would like to call upon one more person. Akash. This gentleman, he helped me yesterday night. So I remember his name. I remember a couple of names as well. Maybe you guys can be ready. Yes, Akash. Why are we here? Why are you here? You can talk. What do you want to take away from this conference? All right, fine. So don't be nervous. I'm also a human being like you, so don't be nervous. Yes, Resilience 2.0, both the fathers, they beautifully mentioned in their own terms. He mentioned like it is not about bouncing back, it's about bouncing forward. And one more father, he mentioned converting all the storms and failures into opportunities. That is AI, right? So let me ask you a question. How many of you received a recommendation today from your phone? Maybe a video suggestion, a product recommendation, or a news alert. How many of you received a recommendation today? Raise your hands. None of you used your phones today morning? Since today morning, you all woke up, got ready, and came to college? Liars, such a big liars. All of your hands will go towards the phone before you get ready, right? So, what was the recommendation? Did you all receive a recommendation? Any sort of recommendation, be it a product recommendation, be it a video recommendation, be it a news alert? Sorry, today's news, right? Anything else? Sorry? Rapido. Very nice, very much needed. Then sorry, I want you all to talk. I don't want to be a unidirectional session. I want it to be more interactive. So you can start talking. So what was the other recommendations that you received today? Zomato, very nice. Filling Madhya Pradesh is very important than to fill the Uttar Pradesh, right? Yes, Zomato. Then Netflix, very nice. Sorry? Naika, come on, the girls are now on the form. Yes, Naika. Misho, very nice. Budget friendly. Decide. Guys, you don't use anything. Sorry? Spotify. Okay. All right. So, do you think that recommendation was random? Was it a random recommendation? How it came? Yeah. So, it came from the data. It got interpreted by AI and delivered through analytics. That's the power of data, AI, and analytics. So, this is the idea behind intelligent enterprises as well. Let me ask you a question. What is a business? An enterprise or a business? You're all MBA students. You're going to become entrepreneurs one day. You're going to become a CEO, or you might be employed in a high paying job, or you may be in a very high position, under you, you're having a lot of people under you. So, what is an enterprise or a business according to you? Sorry? Solving problems. Spot on. Anything else? Making exchanges. All right. Nice. I want you all to, the guys at the outstanding students, the guys at the back bench, you can also start talking. So what is business according to you? If you're not talking, I'll come there. You want me to come there? Okay. So what is business according to you? I could hear a lot of answers from this side in the front, but not from the back side. Yes. What is business according to you? Sorry? Right? Beautiful. Taking risks. Nice. So yes, we can put this all like this gentleman. What's your good name? Bala. So Bala said problem solving for a problem or creating a solution for a problem. It is as simple as that. Everyone is doing like you. How many of you want to become entrepreneurs? How many of you want to do business? Come on, raise your hands. I just want to see your hands. All right. Thank you. Father was mentioning a bomb in a very small town. It will create a biggest impact in the global economy. It is very, very true. You may be a small bomb, maybe in a village, but whatever initiative you take in the right direction or in the right way, it will create a biggest impact in the global economy. Let's move on to the next slide. Next. Right. So what is data? One person at a time. I don't want all of you together, one person at a time. So father was, again, I'm using him as an example. I was about to get that 100 rupees note from him, but I was expecting some of you to come and pick that 100 rupees. No one, as he was mentioning, no one dared to get that 100 rupees. Always dare to grab the opportunities that comes on your way, right? So what is data? One person at a time, not all of you together. Collection of information. All right. So if you see, I actually wanted to do a Mentimeter, but since you guys are very good children, you don't have, is it not allowed in the college or it is not allowed inside the hall? Inside the hall, is it? All right, nice. So in a fraction of second, lot of data is getting generated, right? So we are getting a lot of data out, a lot of data is getting generated. The problem is, the challenge is not collecting the data or generating the data. It is about converting it to what? Okay. Anything else? Very good try. Useful insights. Very nice. In other term, we can put it as intelligence, right? The challenge is not in terms of collection of data, but in terms of converting the data into intelligence. If you see, 90% of the world's data has been created in last 2 years. We've been talking about data, AI, and analytics only in the last few years. If you see a decade back or maybe half a decade back, we were not into that much of data or AI or analytics. But right now, we are no longer living in the digital era, but we are living in the intelligence era, right? So AI, by 2020, AI, artificial intelligence, it can contribute to almost 15 trillion. How much? Data says $15 trillion for the global economy. So that's the power of AI. And companies who use data to make faster decisions, they'll be 5 to 6 times stronger than the companies who are operating traditionally or conventionally. What is a conventional enterprise or conventional company? I don't want you all to be silent, pretending as if you are good children. What is conventional enterprise? A company which uses traditional practices rather than using real time data. So, complete conventional data they'll be using completely out of their own expertise or experience. They don't rely on real data. So, companies which use conventional data, they cannot even sustain in the world, they cannot even innovate. Without innovation, you cannot survive in this competitive world. Companies who survive without innovation cannot even sustain for a longer time. Next slide. So, with that mindset, there is a transformation which is happening right now, which is from what? Very nice. It's intuition to intelligence. Gone are those days where companies were acting, based on their experience. So, I have been working as a strategic talent acquisition head in an organization called Illumine Industries, which is actually a US-based sustainable engineering firm. So, if you see 3 years back, I was looking for a market acquisition director. It was actually a niche role. Uh, Quite challenging to fill that position because that's very critical role, which takes the business to the next level. And we need the right set of talent for that, the right talent for that. So we've been in a hunt for the right person for that particular role, for the market acquisition role. I was giving a lot of candidates to my CEO because he's the one who directly gets into all the C-suite level of hiring. He was keeping on rejecting a lot of candidates, stating, he used to say, Janet, my gut feel says no for this candidate. I was actually wondering, what is that gut feel all about? So I was asking him for a valid feedback or for a valid reason to reject a candidate, but he was not having anything, but he was going behind intuition. So I was like thinking how to handle this in a strategic way. So I came with data points and went and spoke to him. Finally, he could give a lot of insights from the data points that I had. That's the power of data. And finally, we are able to close that question. The question which was, open for ages, and the CEO was acting upon gut feeling. He changed his mindset from intuition to intelligence, and things fell in place. Students, that's the need of the hour. Don't act upon intuition, always act upon the intelligence. Always use the data that we have. So, let us first understand the transformation. Traditional enterprise operates on what? We just spoke. Experiences and practices. So decisions are often based on maybe the senior leaders, they say this is how we've always done it, but that's not the right way. So the reports comes once in a month, problems are identified when? Once they happen, right? AI, data and analytics gives us the opportunity to predict before the problem could even happen. So maybe an example, think about Netflix. What is the mechanism behind Netflix? Like you're seeing a lot of series, videos and everything. How those videos are coming to you? One is that you subscribe. The other one, without even you going and opening it. Sorry? Sorry? Network, okay. How are the recommendations coming? Before you even know what to watch it, it is recommending, right? So that is artificial data intelligence actually. So the same principle is now transforming almost every other industry. Name any industry. Even in recruitment, AI is turning things upside down. right? So I want you all to, shift to three different things. It's not mentioned there. So yeah, let me just go through this. Experience, the traditional organizations, they go through, they take decisions based on experiences and periodic reporting. So their mode of operation is kind of reactive instead of predictive, but intelligent organizations, they purely based on data driven decisions and completely they act upon predictive insights. I want you to go through three leadership shifts because you're going to become a future leader, a leader in the future. The first one, from opinion to what kind of transformation it is. Opinion should be transformed as what? Sorry? Ideas, decisions, actions. Beautiful. I get to get a lot of answers from this side, but the guys are not even opening their mouths. Anything else? Boys. See, I work in a company where we always do unconventional things. I interact with college students on regular basis. I don't want to see students who are very silent, very polite. I wanted to see vibrant minds, right? Come on, guys, open up your mouth and speak. Who knows? Maybe another few months I might drop into a college for a campus placement. Who knows? Come on. Okay, from opinion to what? Data. Yes. The shift towards evidence, from opinion towards evidence. Leaders must ask, what does the data say? We have a lot of data is getting generated like in lot of zettabytes data is getting generated on a daily basis, but a good leader, an intelligent leader should ask, what does the data say? The second one, so first is what? Opinion to, okay, evidence. And the second one, so the traditional leaders, they were acting upon control, basically their experiences, their leadership skills based on the past experiences. So the control should be shifted towards what? It was like one unidirectional from top to bottom earlier in all the traditional companies. But right now, always choose, maybe I will give you a suggestion, always choose the right set of opportunity and the right set of people that you're going to work with. That will shape your career, that will shape your future, right? So traditional organizations, they uses control as one of the leadership trait. But this control should be shifted towards what? Democratic? Very nice. Spot on. Who said this answer? Who said this? Collaborative. Come on, let's give her a good round of applause. From control to collaboration. So, modern enterprise is an ecosystem. What is an ecosystem? Not even only one person. There are going to be a lot of people in the ecosystem. All of us should live harmoniously, right? So, control mechanism will never work. I have a team under me. They report to me. But if I go and control them, definitely I'm not going to get what I want from them. The productivity will be very pathetic, it will be very sad, and the output will not be what I expect, right? So control mechanism will never work in AI as well as in the real world. So if you want to become a good leader with a lot of intelligence in mind, always change your mind from control towards collaboration, right? The third trait, so the traditional organizations, the traditional enterprises, they were reactive, right? What should be the shift from reaction to? Sorry? Very nice. Who said? Give a good round of applause for him. Prediction. So reaction to prediction. The future belongs to leaders who anticipate what? Change. So we should anticipate a lot of changes with the data that we have, with the AI support we have. Analytics will predict the decisions, right? We have to take the right set of decisions. Okay, let's move on to the next stage. Let me give you a small example for the transformation from intuition to intelligence. There were two companies in 2010, okay, two taxi companies. I don't want to mention their names right now. Maybe the winner company, I'll mention it at the last. Maybe you can tell me. Two companies in 2010, they wanted to, expand their business. The first company, company A, they came to the market and they say, we are in the market for the 40 years. We've been in the market for 40 years. We know the market, but that company failed. The second company, option B, they use the data which is available, the customer data, the GPS patterns and everything. They analyze the complete data and they are flourishing. They flourished in 2010. What was the name of the second taxi company? Any guesses? In 2010, do we have Rapido? Uber is the right answer. So one company, they actually were acting upon intuition, they failed. The second company, they were acting upon intelligence, they won the market. And now, even now, they are innovating. Like there have been a lot of taxi companies, but all of them they have their own style of innovation, right? So they use various data and they use it. So okay, what is this? I call this as an intelligence triangle. Every enterprise has three major pillars. Without these three pillars, the enterprise cannot be built. I think it is written there. What's the first one? Right. Second one? Third one? Okay. So, what is data? Consider this as a vehicle or a machine and tell me accordingly what is data. Okay. Very good. Data is a fuel. Gone are those days. People were saying data is the oil, but data is no longer an oil, it is a soil. We have to keep sowing, only then we'll get the right set of data, right? So data is actually the raw material of intelligence. It is the fuel. Every click you do on a website or every search you do on a website, it generates a data, right? Your mobile phone, it keeps recommending a lot of things based on your mindset, based on the the click or search as the browse history. It keeps recommending, right? So data is actually the fuel. So Amazon collects billions of data points every day. So people were saying, girls were saying Nika, Misho, Amazon. So you keep browsing for a lot of things and it keeps recommending. Raise your hands, girls. You might not have heard about the product, but you might be having something else. You will be searching for something else. But Amazon or your mobile phone will recommend a product which you were not even searched of, but you had something in mind. Raise your hands. That's the power of data. Okay, so as future managers, the first question you should ask is, what do we think? Is that true? What do we think? Is that true? No. What do we have? What type of data we have? Right? So data is a fuel. It's a raw material for intelligence. And what is AI? Artificial intelligence. I'm not asking the full form. In this triangle, the first pillar is data and the second pillar is artificial intelligence. What is that? What is artificial intelligence? Okay. Sorry? Someone said engine. Very nice. What was the answer from the back side? Someone said something. Search engine. Okay. So basically, artificial intelligence is the brain. Without the brain, a body will operate. For each and everything, the brain sends the signals, right? So artificial intelligence is nothing but the brain. The second pillar is brain. So it learns from the data patterns and it starts making what? Predictions. Very good, very good. So if data is the fuel, AI is the engine which converts what? Engine. What is engine? How many of you all are engineers here?
Engineers, raise your hands. I could see only 3 hands, that too from this side. One of the staff is raising her hand. 2. Okay, 2 staffs. Okay, engineers, tell me, what is an engine? We don't want engineering. That is why we are here. Your smile says it all. Okay, so engine that converts its fuel into a power, right? So AI is a brain. And what is the third one? What is analytics? Taking decisions, like decision making. So if data is a raw material and AI is the engine, analytics is converting that business intelligence into business decisions. So consider this as a human body. Data is basically eyes and ears, right? AI is the brain, and analytics is taking the right set of decision, what action to take. So when all three work together, organizations become what? Predictive or reactive? Very nice. So if you were starting a company today, what would be more valuable? A large office building, a very strong expertise, workforce, or a high quality data? Very nice. All right. Next slide, please. Next. Okay. So most of you all wanted to, start your own business. You want to become entrepreneurs, right? What is the role of AI in business? Making things simple. Very nice. Forecast demands. Okay. Informed decisions. Nice. Come on, guys. Please speak. Reduce optimization of resources. Nice. Reduce workforce. Okay. Reduce workforce. Okay. Nice. Targeted audience. Okay. So from predicting what the customers to buy, taking care of supply chain activities, to fraud detection and customizing their own needs, till energy optimization, AI plays a very important role in making, taking every major business decision. Let's go one by one. The first one, predictive forecasting. What is it? Predicting the future. All right, because the traditional organizations, they were like acting upon historical needs and managerial experiences. Gone are those days. Now intelligent organizations, or the organizations that act upon data and analytics and AI, they rely upon millions of data points, right? There is no more guesswork. How many of you wanted to do guesswork? Gut feel, intuition? Of course, they will not fail all the times, but majority of the times, the guesswork and the intuition will fail because you're not having data with you, right? So the shift from guesswork to predictive intelligence is all needed from you. The second one is supply chain optimization. What is supply chain optimization? Logistics, very nice. What is the challenge they have? Exactly. Inventory. How do they manage inventory without the right tool, right? So earlier in olden days, it was very easy because they were doing business in limited numbers. But right now, one person is having multiple businesses. Maintaining, the right inventory is a challenge. AI helps in supply chain mechanism. The next one is fraud detection. Fraud detection, in which industry it is very, very important. Software is one. Banking, very nice. Banking. IT, software, we have covered it. So mostly IT, the software industry and the financial institutions, right, where fraudulent activities prone to happen, right? So AI is helping us in terms of, detecting this, because any unusual pattern happens, it immediately predicts it and it immediately warns the user, right? Next is customer personalization. Mobile phones are already doing it, right? So customer personalization is very, very important because it increases the customer engagement, loyalty, and thereby increasing the revenue. If you want to, increase the loyalty, you should always go for this customer personalization. The final one is energy optimization. What is it? We are talking about sustainability. What is energy optimization? Industries consume massive amounts of energy, right? Students, it all starts with you, every individual. So only if you start maintaining it from at your younger age, you'll be able to handle this when you start a business, right? Always try to optimize energy right from your home. That activity or that habit will take you to heights. So AI always, allows us to reduce the operational cost as well, by contributing towards sustainability and carbon reduction. Right. Next slide, please. Okay. Next comes so we have seen about data, we have seen about AI, and what is the next? Analytics. So turning insights into what? What is an impact? You're all MBA students. What is the impact that you are creating? Okay. Yeah, so you should create impact. So there are 4 types of impact that I've listed here: descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. What is descriptive? What has happened already? And diagnostic, why did it happen? Predictive, what is going to happen? And prescriptive, what should we do about it? Think as a leader, from a leader perspective, with these 4 pointers. They have given me a note that I have to complete in another 2-3 minutes, so I'll finish it off. Don't worry, guys. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide, please. But I want to ask you a question. If you were a CEO today, which state of analytics would would you prefer to gain maximum competitive advantage? Descriptive, predictive, prescriptive? Prescriptive. Predictive is fine, but prescriptive analysis, where actually data guides to take strategic decisions, always take the right set of decisions, okay? Okay, so role of future leaders. Who are the future leaders? Yes. So role of future. Okay, what is sustainability first? We talk about sustainability and all. What is sustainability first? Okay. So let me just put in simple terms: creating progress today without compromising tomorrow. No compromises for tomorrow, but you should create progress for you today, right? Okay. So these are the 4, categories or 4 qualities that you should have: data literacy, AI awareness. Very important is ethical intelligence. We generate a lot of data, lot of patterns getting created because of the data that we generate, or which is getting generated around the world. But we can do anything with the data. We can play with the data. We can use AI and analytics to do anything. But we should be responsible enough. We should be a responsible leader. You can do whatever you want, but it should be ethical, right? Next one is systems thinking, thinking not only about you, but as an ecosystem. All right, we have come to the end of the session. Let me just give you a final quote and then wind it up. Data tells us what is happening. Analytics tells us why it is happening. AI tells what will happen, but what will decide what should happen? What? We, human wisdom. You may be wondering, will AI take my job? You're not wondering, good children. So, always human wisdom plays a major role in everything, right? Data, AI, analytics, everything is there in place, but only the human wisdom which can decide what is right or what is wrong. God has given us the sixth sense to, identify the spirit of discernment we have, right? Human wisdom we have. So what is right, what is wrong, taking the right decision is in the hands of the future leaders like you. All the best, guys. All the best for the conference as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Participants, do you have any questions? Yes.
Good morning, ma'am. Ma'am, that you have spoken about the conventional methodology. How do you will suggest a company to change from a conventional methodology to a data-driven form?
It depends on the business that you are in. So basically, I come from a solar firm, an organization which provides engineering design solutions to global clients. You might be thinking getting rid of conventional methodologies is tough. Trust me, we were operating on conventional mode. Right now, we got rid of completely the conventional mode and we made a shift from intuition towards intelligence. We act up because we have a lot of historical data, the trends that we have. But right now, we focus more on the data side and the AI. We use AI for analyzing the data and predicting it, and we are actually sustaining. And one thing you should never forget, though you have data, though you have AI, though you have analytics, always remember innovation is a key for it. Innovation is a fuel for it. Without innovation, you cannot use those three things to survive in this world. So always don't even act upon the past experience. That's what I would say. Don't act upon the past experiences. That is actually the shift from conventional to unconventional. So you may be wondering, I am a strategic talent acquisition head. So I hire people. I go to campuses. I do hire a lot of leaders. I build, the leadership teams as well. But we always go about unconventional hiring. There are a lot of companies who do conventional hiring. Eventually, they fail. So you might be looking good. Your attitude might be looking good in terms of during the discussion. But once you are inside the organization, your true colors will come out. My true colors will come out. I don't want that. So we use different methodologies even to hire. We got out of complete conventional hiring trends and we are actually reaping the, whatever we have sown so far.
And another question.
Yes.
As a talent acquisition head, we as an MBA grads, where do we fail to know about these changes and the
Okay,
AI?
I was mentioning in the middle of the session, it's not about failures. That's one thing. Second thing is always choose the right set of right role and the right set of people that you're gonna work. How many of you wanted to work in established organizations? Raise your hands, please. How many of you want to work in startups? I could hardly see 4 hands, 4, 5, 6, 7. You see the difference, right? How many of you wanted to do business? Very few. But people who wanted to work in established organizations, it is more, right? Trust me, students, if you get into an established organization or a well-reputed organization, a structured organization, sorry to say this, you will not learn anything. Your job will be very monotonous. They'll give you a work, they'll allocate a task, you'll complete your task, you'll come out. You will not learn anything. They'll give you training for the job that you're doing. On the job training you'll be getting, but you will not learn anything out of it. Right? So always choose the right set of companies as well. Always try to get into corporate, especially when you're fresh out of college. Just try to get into startups. Learn the business completely. Learn it from the scratch. Only in startups you'll get opportunities to learn about the business completely. You will not learn anything in established organizations. There are companies, there are a lot of gimmicks, the corporate gimmicks in the world, but don't get trapped into it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other questions? Yes.
You tell me before that, which data will be more efficient, primary data or the secondary data, which?
Both the data is very important. Without primary, you will not get secondary. So secondary data is very important for validation. Primary data is very, very important to generate or come up with solutions.
I'm asking that if I'm starting a business, should I go directly go on a work on a field or take the secondary data and directly start it?
That's what I said. One secondary data alone is not sufficient. Primary data alone is not sufficient. If you want to flourish in that particular sector or particular opportunity or particular business that you're going to do, you should have both the data in hand before taking. You'll have to prepare yourself for the future. With one data, you cannot prepare yourself for the future. Both the data you should have.
Thank you.
My question is, how do we know the data we get is the data we need?
Are you doubting about the authenticity of the data?
What is the right data to get?
Right. So there are a lot of informations available in the market, or when you open Google, there are a lot of informations. You will have to cross-verify the data that you're generating online, like whatever data you're getting online, you'll have to cross-verify. There are a lot of reputed sites or good subscriptions are there. Always try to cross-verify. He was asking which data is important, primary or secondary. Primary data will give you in-depth information about the data that you're looking for. Always cross-verify with the primary data which is done through primary research already, and the secondary data which is done through secondary research which is already will be there. So always cross-verify whatever data you generate with both the primary as well as secondary research data generated via both the researchers, and then go about it. Otherwise, you will fail in terms of the authenticity of the data, because if you open Google, there are a lot of information, a lot of true information, a lot of false information, only with the respected. You try to Google and see what websites, what is plagiarism? So a lot of websites are there with plagiarism. So always try to get information from plagiarism-free websites and then use it. If you avoid plagiarism, most of the errors you will avoid.
Last one question.
Good morning, ma'am. Thank you for your insightful session. And could you share your opinion on this note? Does AI will affect the teamwork and collaboration among the employees?
Definitely no. I was mentioning 3 key points. What is that? Evidence, control to, you have the answer. You have any question? You want me to explain it more from control to collaboration?
Yes, ma'am.
So control was with traditional organizations who follow conventional methodologies, but organizations would, maybe I can give you my organization, the organization that I'm working. I work in a startup. I was working in established organizations, but right now I'm in an MNC, which is again a startup. It's been more than 10 years in this industry. The company, which is started in 2015, it's now 11 years. They started in an auto garage. 2 friends, they started this business in an auto garage, and then it gradually grew, and right now we are an MNC. They were not acting upon control mechanism. It is purely collaborative. Both of them had different thought process. Both of them had different ideas. But when one person was suggesting something, the other partner was listening to it. When the other partner was suggesting something, this person will be listening to it. Collaboratively, they take the right set of decision. What is the need of the solving a problem is actually, in simple terms, it is business, right? So this is a problem. What is the solution for the problem? Sit together. Any company which sits together and come up with a collaborative decision will survive well in the market and they will flourish in the market. Any company, they don't sit together, and if the information flows from top to bottom, a company is like flat hierarchy. We don't have top to bottom hierarchy, flat. Anyone can knock the door of a CEO, can go talk to him. Anyone can knock the door of a COO, Chief Operations Officer, can go and tell him about his suggestions. There's something called as Project ORB that we have in an organization, which is nothing but we encourage our employees to come up with a lot of sustainable ideas. And if it is a very good idea, we are ready to implement it. We are ready to fund them as well. As part of it, one such employee came up with a plan. And earlier we were doing only power engineering projects, design for solar, residential, and commercial. But this employee came up with a plan and said, why not let's try construction industry as well. We use building information modeling as one of the construction methodology to design green buildings. So it is now one of the highest revenue generating business units. And as part of second project to RB, one mid-level employee is not even a top-level employee, mid-level, employee, an engineer or a senior engineer. He came up with a plan to launch his own company. He wanted to connect a couple of metro stations, metro railway stations, to up to a distance of 5 kilometers. It's a last mile connectivity for 5 kilometers. CEO loved the idea and he approved it on the table, and we are the co-founders. How many of you, I think you might not have seen because it is in Chennai. It's called as Lego. M Autos, how many of you have seen green colored M Autos? One. Montreal Electric, it's now trending. Okay, so there is an auto called Lego, Leggo. This employee was like having a dream. He wanted to establish his own firm by working in our organization. So he came up with a plan to launch this EV autos in Chennai, especially from the support of government, Tamil Nadu government. And it's a last mile connectivity for 5 kilometers from any of the metro stations. So that's the power of collaboration. I am quoting you this example is that's the power of collaboration. Always, as I was mentioning him, try to choose the right set of opportunity, the right company, and the right environment, and the right set of people that you're going to work with. With control, people who are controlling you, you will not be able to, give your own ideas. You'll not be able to suggest anything. But in a collaborative environment, AI will even help you to flourish even more rather than, destroy you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, for that thought-provoking session highlighting the role of data and analytics in building intelligent and sustainable enterprises. Thank you, ma'am. We'll now take a short tea break and resume at 10:50 for the next keynote session by Dr. Francis Christian, Professor of Surgery from Canada.
Video entry. Sound weekly. Now can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Ram?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So now I have to connect. We have to check with Dr. Francis Christian. Dr. Francis has to unmute his audio now. Can you hear me? And then can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can
see
hear me too?
Yeah, very well.
Oh, good,
Very
good,
clear.
good.
Yeah. So we start sharp at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock your time, right?
Yes.
So you were supposed to start at 10:30, right? Or is it 11?
11.
No, 11. Oh, okay.
o'clock.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll be in another 15 minutes or so,
Yes,
right?
yes. The attendees have gone for a break now. They will be back in the hall.
So Father Rufus and Father
Michael
John,
Yes.
are they still in the conference or have they left?
Dr. Michael John will be there in the conference and Dr. Rufus is left.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. Okay. I'll come back a little bit later then.
Okay.
Okay.
Ma'am? Rita, ma'am?
Ram, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, very much, Ram.
Yes, ma'am.
My father to check pannu, Ram. You have to check with father once again.
Father inside the meeting, ma'am?
No, he has to be. Our father link there, so he has to come into the meeting.
Okay, ma'am. I'll ask father, ma'am. I'll ask him.
Okay. He will join from his cabin.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Check. Ma'am, one more voice check. Ma'am. Rita ma'am.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the conference. Father, ready to join? Dr. Ram, Father, ready to join, Ram? Please join, Father.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Father is yet to join, ma'am. One minute.
Yeah, Father, just joining. Shall we start, Father?
Yeah, madam, you can start. Sorry for the delay.
Yes, Father. And Dr. Francis Christian is online here.
Okay, hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Hello, Father. How are you, Father?
Yeah, good, good. Thank you for joining.
Well, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Yeah, go.
Welcome back. Welcome back to the conference. We now move on to the second keynote address by distinguished academician and globally respected medical professional, Dr. Francis Christian, who has recently retired from as professor of surgery from the University of Saskatoon, Canada. Dr. Francis Christian is widely recognized for his remarkable contributions to healthcare, surgical education, and patient safety. During his tenure at the University of Saskatoon, he established and directed the Department of Surgery's Quality and Patient Safety Program and successfully implemented the National Surgical Quality Improvement Program in Saskatoon. With more than 3 decades of experience in surgical practice, he has contributed extensively to medical research through numerous publications in peer-reviewed journals and invited lectures across the world. He is also the lead author of the Canadian Association of General Surgeons position paper on professionalism, reflecting his commitment to ethical and compassionate medical practice. Dr. Christian is also known for his innovative contributions, including the development of M&M Surgical app, which is now widely used across the province to enhance surgical learning and patient care. In addition, he co-founded the Surgical Humanities program and served as the editor of the Journal of the Surgical Humanities, promoting the integration of human values in medical education. Today, he will be addressing us on the topic, Integrating AI, Digital Health, and Practice of Medicine, a resilient pathway for compassionate and sustainable healthcare models. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming Dr. Francis Christian for his keynote address. Dr. Francis Christian, the virtual floor is now yours.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. And a very good morning to all of you. It's late in the evening here in Canada. Actually, it's just past 11:30. And I'd like to start by saying it is really a great honor and privilege for me to be here because of 2 reasons. One is, although I'm in Canada now, I actually come from a small village, which is about an hour from where you are meeting in Tinnevelly. The village is near Tuticorin. And that was the village to which missionaries brought the good news of the gospel of Jesus Christ to my great-great-grandfather in the 1860s. There's another reason I'm very grateful to be here, and that is because although I'm from Tamil Nadu and from a village in Tinnevelly district, I actually did not live in Tamil Nadu throughout my life, except for a short while. My dad was in the Indian Navy, but I went to Jesuit schools. And I know the contribution of the Jesuits. I went to the Campion School in Bombay and St. Vincent School in Pune, both run by the Jesuits. And I am always grateful for their witness to the gospel and their ability to bring the kingdom of God into the lives of young people everywhere. So it's a real privilege for me to be here. And I'm going to be talking to you about well, it's a long title, but essentially what I'm going to be speaking to you about is about AI, about medicine, and about the business opportunities in this new and exciting field. So that is the title of the talk, Integrating AI, Digital Health, and the Practice of Medicine, a Resilient Pathway for Compassionate and Sustainable Healthcare Models. But as I said, it's very simply broken down into AI, medicine, and the future of medicine. So for much of my career, and essentially for most of my career, all my career, of more than 30 years as a surgeon and latterly as the professor of surgery in the university here, this was how my waiting room looked. So the patients would be waiting for seeing the doctor, and there would be a nurse who would go out and tell the patient, the doctor will see you now. Now, the day is not very far off when instead of the doctor will see you now, the message will be the AI agent will see you now. And for those of you who think that this is way in the future, I want to tell you that actually the future is here already. All over the world, and I'm sure among you who are very digitally savvy, you're always on your phones or on your laptops, but all over the world, including you, patients are consulting Gemini, which belongs to Google, ChatGPT, which is a Microsoft artificial agent, and Grok, which is X or Elon Musk, for their medical problems. Now, there was a time when we would be asking for a second opinion from another doctor, but that second opinion is no longer another physician often, but AI, artificial intelligence. And already AI is rapidly transforming many medical specialties and making physicians rethink their role in medicine. So this is what my presentation will encompass. I will talk to you about how AI is transforming the practice of medicine. What are its limitations? What is the role of the patient and the doctor in this transformation? Are we prepared as a society for this seismic shift? How can businesses reposition themselves? Father Rufus was talking to you about resilience, and that is a forward-looking adaptability for business. Reposition themselves in the AI-driven healthcare industry. And then most importantly, I think, how do we safeguard a values-driven and compassionate doctor-patient relationship? And how can businesses contribute to this existential goal? So I want to start off with some definitions. What is AI? AI is a field of computer science in which systems or machines become capable of doing tasks that would have required human intelligence. Now, I want to dwell a little bit on this because a lot of people have many ideas about AI, but a simple way of thinking about AI is, what would it require for a human to do 10 years ago? Well, AI is doing that. AI is the capability of software to acquire, process, and apply knowledge in ways that appear intelligent, especially through learning from data. In other words, not only can AI think like a human being, AI can also learn from the thinking and become better and better, rather than being explicitly programmed for every situation. And as I think I heard that there are some computer engineers in this audience, and you would know that actually in 2026, AI has become self-propagating. In other words, it can write its own code and make its own advanced app. It can also test the app and roll it out as a new app in about 24 hours. And AI is also transforming medicine. AI can diagnose a disease. In some cases, it can do that better than a well-trained doctor. AI can suggest a treatment plan tailored to the particular disease and the particular patient. Not only can it do that, it can also monitor treatment and follow-up. And AI, in some cases, is actually already better than human doctors. Now, this is how, for decades, radiologists, that is, those who look at X-rays and CT scans, this is how they diagnose disease or diagnose injury. And this is how in my hospital, radiologists, what you see is a radiologist and a student radiologist, or a resident radiologist. They're looking at a CAT scan and they're trying to diagnose what it shows. Now, this actually benefited both North America and India, especially the United States, because what would happen is about this time, when America is sleeping, they would send images digitally to India, where you're all awake. They would then get the report back when they're waking up in America, and that was, many $million industry. That's all changing. Now, how does the radiologist learn? First, he has to go to university in North America, then to medical school, then the radiology residency, and this is often about 12 years. And then there's an accumulation of learning through looking through thousands of radiology images, X-rays, CAT scans, MRI scans, and what the human brain is doing is pattern recognition. The trainee radiologist reads multiple books and journal articles over several years, and then finally has to do challenging exams to gain certification. Now, AI can actually learn diagnostic radiology. How is it doing that? AI models can scan and store millions of images in a short period of time, in less than a week. And they can develop, and they've already developed, a superior pattern recognition. AI can then statistically accumulate all this information and continue to learn as it is fed even more information, like a human being. It can then link all this pattern learning with, again, the computer engineers among you will know what is large language models. That is millions of pages of text, textbooks, articles, websites, absorbed by the AI model. And then finally, when you put the large language learning and the image recognition together, a radiology report is then generated, which is most often better than a human radiologist. So radiologists traditionally have struggled sometimes with diagnostic errors, time constraints, technological gaps, case complexity, overwhelming workloads, and AI radiology can solve all these challenges and is already solving these challenges. AI improves the entire radiology workflow. Now, I'm giving you only one example, but AI is also transforming other fields like pathology, like dermatology, and so on. And the day is not far off when this will be what a radiology room looks like. I give it in about 10 years. In 10 years, there will be a robot who's actually working with the radiologist in the AI radiology room. Now, what is the role of the patient and the doctor in this transformation? So let me start off by a note of reassurance by coming back to human beings, and I can tell you what the AI cannot do yet. Now, there are some things that the AI is becoming better and better at, but there are some things that the AI cannot yet do. AI cannot do surgery as well as an experienced surgeon. Now, there have been robotic surgery models that have been there for about 20 years. It works with the same AI algorithmic principle, but they're still not as good as an experienced surgeon. Robotic surgery is getting better, but still not good enough. AI cannot do interventional radiology. I told you about radiology, but let's say the radiologist has to inject some dye and then take a catheter and dislodge a clot somewhere or put a stent somewhere. AI cannot do that. In other words, AI cannot yet do complex manual tasks. Robots are becoming better at that. Some of you have, I'm sure, seen videos of robots doing all kinds of things. But as yet, it cannot do things like emergency resuscitation. That is, it cannot do manual things. Now, I have to say that this is probably one of the most reassuring slides in my whole presentation, because it gives you an idea of what AI will not now, but ever be able to do. AI will never be able to do these things, because AI does not possess a soul. AI cannot know human suffering and human joy. It can learn about it, but it cannot truly experience it. Now, those of you who have been to a doctor, a good doctor knows that a good doctor is a lot more than just the medicine or the surgery. The doctor can empathize with the patient, can comfort the patient, for example, and AI will never be able to do that. It cannot truly, in the words of the Apostle Paul, it cannot truly rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. It can pretend to do all these things, but it can never actually do these things. And then we go on to the next part of my presentation. Are we prepared as a society for this seismic shift? Now, you all know that the big AI players are all in the USA. Is this a good thing? I want to argue in this presentation that this is actually a very bad thing, okay? Just look at what the USA is doing in the Middle East. The 4 or 5 big AI players, all in the USA, spend billions of dollars more than everyone else combined. And I mean everyone else in the world, including India, of course, and China. And so they do not need the money. They've been given billions of dollars of government money to do what they're doing. So what are they after? What they're after is power and control. And that is why, in fact, the big AI companies in the US are allied with the US government, with US defense forces, and with the CIA, with the intelligence agencies. So if control continues to be centralized, AI can not only control what information we are fed, which it's already doing, because if you go to Google AI, that is what you think is the truth, but it may not be the truth. It can also control how we think. And, you know, I'm not a defender of China or a defender of Chinese society, but China knew these dangers of centralized US control of AI and in general, the digital space about 20 years ago. And it's already ahead of us and of the rest of the world. Much before the present AI revolution, China created its own search engine. Only 2% or less of searches in China involve Google, although that is 97% in India. The Chinese search engines like Baidu handle 98% of searches. And why did China do this? Why did China do this? And I'd like you to think about that. China also has its own AI systems, example, DeepSeek, which rival the Americans at a fraction of the cost. And I am arguing here that India must think big and create its own AI infrastructure and not rely on the Americans. And that is something that the AI big companies will do fear. Decentralization, it is also vital for humanity. How can businesses reposition themselves in the AI-driven healthcare industry? Now, I argue in this presentation that businesses must continue to innovate. AI is dependent on data that already exists, okay? So it cannot make something completely new yet. It's like a novelist can take letters and words and then write a novel. Now, by the way, AI can actually write novels now. If you ask it to write a novel and you subscribe to one of the more advanced AI models, it can actually write that novel for you. But AI cannot yet create a new language. It cannot create French, Tamil, English. It's like, you know, an engineer can make the building, but the engineer still needs bricks, concrete, and so on. Businesses can and must innovate and make that new material available for AI. So I want you to think about this because you are the younger generation who will be there much after we are gone. And it has to do with innovation and creating new content. What does AI do now? It sucks in data from millions of sources in a few seconds and makes answers available to human beings. But the primary content is still created by humans. So, for example, if you ask Google AI to give you a recipe for chicken tikka masala, it'll give you probably the best recipe in a few seconds. It takes recipes from all over the internet and composes a new recipe, supposedly, but actually it's from primary content of other recipe creators. Now, these recipe creators depend on internet traffic for their income, and they're already seeing a massive decrease of traffic to their websites. And what are they doing? They're not making that new content. And so when speaking of resilience, you must be prepared for businesses and advertising revenue based on the number of views, which is the usual model, advertising model. That's going to decrease because AI will cannibalize them. And businesses will increasingly construct paywalls and closed, secure systems on subscriptions or pay-per-use models. And large companies will expand their intranets and make them more secure because nobody wants to give their data to AI for free. And AI-driven medicine has massive opportunities for business. It's a $45 billion annual growth industry, projected to be $1.92 trillion in 2026 to 2040. It composes 55% of health tech investment in 2025, and opportunities exist for startups, for established players, and for hospital systems. And these are the broad areas for business revenue and growth. And I'm going to give you some examples of Indian medical AI businesses, which are not only recognized in India, but in other parts of the world as well, and are innovating and doing decentralized AI in India. So this is a company, and I think my presentation will be available to you, and you can actually go to these companies by clicking the link on the right bottom of the page. So the Dozy Health AI is it's again an Indian company. It has an AI-powered sensor placed under a patient's mattress. It tracks vitals in real time, including the heart rate and so on. And it's already used in 370 hospitals across India, including rural hospitals. This is another example. It's called the Niramai Health Analytics Early Breast Cancer Detection. No X-rays, uses thermal imaging or heat-generated imaging. Again, it's deployed in rural camps and hospitals, and it costs 5 times less than traditional mammograms. That the website is there as well. You can go to it afterwards and check it out for yourselves. This is another example. It's called Sigtuple, AI-powered blood tests. I think it's based in Bangalore. It automates the analysis of blood smears. It provides faster, more accurate results, even where pathologists aren't available. And it cuts diagnosis time from 2 days to 15 minutes. And finally, how do we safeguard a values-driven and compassionate doctor-patient relationship? And how can businesses contribute to this existential goal? I think this is the most important part of my presentation, really, because if we don't have a values-driven based system, it is an existential problem. In other words, it can actually lead to the demise of humanity if we don't safeguard AI. And I want to give you a story, an example of a real person. And this is Dr. Devi Shetty, who's a cardiac surgeon. He trained in cardiac surgery in England in the National Health Service, like I did. He then went back to India in the 90s, and he was a very busy cardiac surgeon. And one day, he received a phone call, and the request was for a home visit. And he said to the person at the other end of the phone, what do you mean? I'm a high-profile cardiac surgeon. I never, ever go to people's homes. And then somebody told him, actually, the person who you need to see is Mother Teresa. And Mother Teresa had had a heart attack, and she did not want any publicity. You can see Dr. Shetty also in that picture. And after he met Mother Teresa, he looked after her for the last 5 years of her human life. And what he says is that Mother Teresa completely changed my attitude towards my profession and society. Again, I've given you the website of the Narayan healthcare hospitals around India. I don't think they're in Tamil Nadu yet, but I think they're in mostly Karnataka and northern India. And Dr. Shetty's goal was healthcare access for all. About 20 years ago, for example, severe drought in Karnataka hit and farmers could not pay for healthcare. And Dr. Shetty started the rupees 10 per month scheme for essential healthcare in his hospitals. 4 million farmers signed up. And you can do the math, because that comes to several million rupees and dollars. Over 12 years, 1.3 million surgeries were performed through the program, including 130,000 cardiac procedures. And now he has AI-powered health care, which does diagnostic radiology, preventive screening, AI-powered automation of medical records. And then this is an innovation which is actually being tested even in England. Mobile cell phone powered AI in his hospitals. Every blood test result, every imaging report, every ICU change appears instantly on a doctor's mobile phone. The interface resembles WhatsApp because that's how doctors already communicate. An integrated AI system then reviews more than 70 pieces of data per patient and then will suggest required interventions. And he says, I don't mind if nobody remembers me after I die. I only want to see a world where everyone has access to healthcare. I know this can actually happen in my lifetime. And so, as I come to the close of my presentation, I want you to recall, when you think about AI, think about nuclear power. When nuclear power first appeared, we were not prepared for its potential. Countries made nuclear bombs. One country even dropped nuclear bombs. We know which that country was, killing or maiming hundreds of thousands of people in Japan. But nuclear power can also be used to provide peaceful electricity, driving multiple industries, including healthcare. It can also be used for treating cancer and for diagnosing disease. So that's a choice for humanity, nuclear power. Like that, AI is going to be a choice. Mankind's now on the threshold, I believe, of great success or great danger with AI. Properly used in the service of Almighty God and mankind, it is a powerful tool for good, and the possibilities for good are endless. But it can also be a powerful tool for evil, for dictators, and for governments to control and manipulate the population. And AI can be used to cheat people out of their money. The possibilities for evil are also endless. And so the question for you to ponder as I close this presentation is, which way will mankind choose? And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much. And I would request the floor to ask you questions. That was a wonderful presentation, and it was highly insightful. And I request the floor to ask some questions to Dr. Francis Christian. Father, would you like to ask questions?
I don't think you can see me yet on the screen, right? Because
no, we are able to see you.
You're able to see me, or
Yes.
you're able to see only the presentation?
No, we are able to see you.
Okay, all right. Just give me a second. Okay, all right. Yes, now I can see you all, yes. I hope I've kept the time.
Yes, yes,
All right.
absolutely, absolutely. Is anyone ready?
Yeah, ma'am. May I?
Yes, Father.
Yeah, thank you, Christian, for a wonderful and meaningful and insightful sharing with us on this particular topic. It's really impressive, and you have really touched upon the human aspects very well. How we can blend these AI and particularly in medicine. I have a few clarifications or maybe questions. How can healthcare institutions balance the benefits of a big data analytics, particularly with the ethical obligation to protect the patient's privacy and the confidentiality? That's the first one I would like to place before you. The second one is, who owns medical data in AI-driven healthcare ecosystem? Is it the patient or the hospital or the technology companies developing the algorithms and et cetera, So you can throw some lights on these two areas. Then I will get back to another area where I am thinking of. Yeah.
Thank you, Father John, and thank you again for inviting me to address this conference. Let me take your second question first. Privacy is a big thing in the digital world, okay? And we know this not just from medical records. We know this because, for example, businesses are always asking you for your email, and I generally don't give my email because I don't want my email to become public knowledge. I want it to be only the knowledge of people like you. So that is that, you know, the sphere of privacy in the digital world is a huge area. And in the medical record field, it's particularly important. And that is because if we don't safeguard privacy, there is the danger not only that AI will control things in our lives, but even in the insurance industry. For example, if insurance industry gain access to digital patient information, they may refuse to insure people for healthcare issues in a way that is very detrimental for healthcare, because the insurance companies just want to make a profit. The other issue, of course, is, let's say there is I'll just give you an example. Let's say there's a patient with a psychiatric illness, which is actually well controlled. If that information then becomes part of a big data center, and of course, we know nothing is secure in the digital world. They may say it's secure, they may say it's encrypted, a million times, but we know that the key to the encryptation is with the companies. So, for example, in the US, a judge can order companies to give you the key to that encrypted data. So, the way hospitals can safeguard against this, which is the first question, I believe, is essentially to put ethics, moral values first before profit. And if they do that, they will safeguard privacy. Some hospitals are again going to the intranet model, which is not connecting it to a large external data center, a large external server, but just keeping it within the hospital, using digital technology, using local AI models, but keeping everything within the hospital. So these are some of the challenges for the future. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's very well said. The third, maybe before I allow the others to have their clarifications, how can digital health tools, strengthen, particularly, in the, resilience in the healthcare system, ecosystem during crises such as pandemics and, natural disaster and etc., etc. This is yet another area that, I would like to get your insight.
And that's another very good question, Father John. Let me start with giving you an example, and that is the COVID pandemic that was recently upon the world. There was a virus which the world had never seen before. All the information about the virus was coming from essentially one or two sources in the United States. For example, the information about virus-related mortality, or was how many people are dying, danger of the virus, all that, the treatment or the lack of treatment or the vaccine, it was all coming from one or two American centers, the Center for Disease Control, CDC, in America, and the National Institute of Health. That actually proved to be not a good thing at all, because the American model didn't necessarily apply to India. The American model didn't apply to Africa. Now, for an example, in Africa, hardly anybody took the vaccine, but hardly anybody died. What many physicians were saying is that you should go out into the sunshine. And the Africans were doing that anyway. because there's a lot of sunshine in Africa. And the vitamin D levels were going up, and that was protective against the COVID virus. So digital centralized control of health actually is a very bad thing, because it cannot lead to that resilience, that adaptability for local situations. I don't know the details of what happened in India, but I do know that it was a very centralized response. And there was lockdowns which might have been relevant or good for the West, but it was a disaster for India to have lockdowns and massive economic dislocation and so on. Actually, the WHO now says that lockdowns were a very bad idea. So this idea of a central agency directing health is bad. And that is what dictators do. Dictators will then take that ability to control our lives. That dictator may arise in the United States, it may arise in China or wherever. And if we just consume whatever it's telling us to consume, instead of critically looking at the primary sources. For example, in the COVID pandemic, it was known very, very early in the pandemic that the virus is of no threat at all to children who are healthy. Actually, the statistics showed that it was more likely that a child would die being struck by lightning than by COVID. And yet, the CDC pushed vaccination and the injection of the COVID vaccine on children, which was completely inappropriate. So this kind of centralized control is actually very bad. And AI can actually make that frighteningly central, even more centralized, because AI can generate all kinds of arguments to try and convince you that what a central body is doing is the right thing to do. It's already doing that, actually. So it's very important for mankind to go to the primary sources, to go and do your own research, and not just, just trust Google AI or ChatGPT or even Grok for your healthcare decisions.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you so much. Over to Madam.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you. Thank you, Father, for the wonderful question. I think you have asked a question that is very much relevant. And is there anybody on the floor who would ask one final question from Dr. Christian? Is anybody there?
Good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning.
So my question is, as you mentioned, China took initiative to build their own personal AI platform. And are Indians taking any initiative to build their own AI platform? And how long will it take to build? And will it be secure enough for us Indians?
That's a very good question. Tell us your name and what you do. Are you a student? Are you a professor?
I'm a student. Sir. I'm pursuing first year of MBA.
Okay, that's a good question. Unfortunately, Indians rely on Google. And I think that's a bad thing, because that means that whatever Google feeds you, you're going to believe. And you should know from my presentation that that's actually dangerous. And China knew the dangers. China realized that in the quest to control the world's resources and the quest to control how people think, America would use every means at its disposal to subjugate the Chinese. Instead, China developed Baidu and its own search engines. So Chinese people don't rely on Google at all. You saw the statistics in my presentation. Less than 2% of Chinese people use Google. Now, the second part of your question is, is India developing its own search engine? And the answer, unfortunately, is no. 97% of Indians use Google. So, many countries around the world, including China, has realized that America is not a very reliable partner. As long as it benefits America, America will support any nation. But if it doesn't benefit America, America will drop that nation like a stone. So China realized that about 20 years ago. It is up to people like you to build another search engine, and maybe build a Tamil search engine, or a Hindi search engine. But the fact is, India doesn't think in terms of the next 20 years or the next 30 years. China has that forward planning. And actually, if you think about Chinese technology now, while America was wasting trillions of dollars in unnecessary wars, what is America doing? What is China doing, rather? China was building not just AI, but building infrastructure. For example, high-speed rail. Do you know what high-speed rail is? That's high speed of rail more than 200 kilometers an hour. How much of high-speed rail does America have? Zero. How much of high-speed rail track does China have? 50,000 kilometers. So it is imperative for nations to realize the dangers of centralizing everything to the United States and develop things locally. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. But I do feel like AI is too scary, but I don't know. It do has some pros and cons. But I feel like the cons are way more than the pros when it comes to AI.
It's like nuclear power, I think. You can use it for great benefit, or like America did, can drop atom bombs on civilian populations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Christian, for your enriching and yet enlightening session for us. And you have put us all to a mode of reflection where we will be reflecting upon the topic, on the subject, and the talk that you have given us on AI and healthcare models. Thank you very much for the valuable time that you have spent in these late hours from your side, from your end. You have put your time entirely for us in this on this day for this conference. On behalf of our Father Director, Reverend Dr. Michael John S.J., and our institution and our students, I thank you very much for spending your valuable time with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rita. Thank you, Father John. And
Thank you. Thank you so much. So you can have a good sleep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you very much. Now I move on to Dr. Ram for the next session. May I move on to John? Move on to Dr. Ram for the next session.
சண்டேக்கு அரை மணி நேரம் தான்.
We now move on to our third keynote session. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Sanjay J. Bayani. He'll be addressing us on the topic embedding ESG and sustainability into future-ready business models. Dr. Sanjay J. Bayani, Dean and Professor at the Department of Management Studies, Saurashtra University, Rajkot, is a distinguished academician with over 3 decades of experience in higher education. Professor Bayani is a gold medalist in both BCom and NCom. He has made remarkable contributions to research and academia with over 180 research publications, 12 books, and the successful guidance of 29 PhD scholars. He has also served as the officiating Vice Chancellor of Saurashtra University and has been actively involved in national academic bodies including UGC and AICTE. Recognized for his excellence in research, Professor Sanjay has received several national awards and has presented papers at the international conferences across the globe. With great pleasure, I now invite Professor Sanjay Bayani to deliver his keynote address. Sir, please.
Good morning to everybody.
Very good morning, sir.
Principal of Xavier College, Reverend Dr. U. Godwin Refuse S.J., principal of this institute, Xavier Institute of Business Administration, Dr. T. Rita, participant of this international conference, and all fellow academicians, industry leaders, ladies and gentlemen. So it is a great honor for me to address this distinguished gathering on the theme of embedding ESG sustainability in future-ready business model. The topic is extremely important because the world today is experiencing profound economic, environmental, and social transformation. For many decades, the success of business organization was measured primarily by profitability and shareholders' wealth. Then we are studying the financial management. In the first unit, we learned goals of the financial management. We know profit maximization and wealth maximization. However, the modern business environment has changed significantly. So today's business are expected to create sustainable value for society, environment, and future generations. So this shift has given rise to concept of ESG, that is called as a environmental, social, and governance, which has become a critical framework for the responsible and sustainable business practices. So today, in my talk, I will discuss the 5 key aspects. First one is the changing global business environment, understanding ESG and sustainability. Third, global ESG framework and sustainable development goals, embedding ESG into future-ready business model, and last, 5 lessons from the global corporate case study, the way forward. So first, we can start with the changing global business environment. So the global business environment today is characterized by uncertainty, complexity, and rapid transformation. Businesses around the world face several pressing challenges such as climate change, environmental degradation, growing economic inequality, global supply chain disruptions, and technological transformation. So in recent years, the world has witnessed the several major events, which includes the global financial crisis, the COVID-19 pandemic, geopolitical conflicts, and increasing the climate disaster. So this development has demonstrated the traditional profit-centric business model are not sustainable in long run. Even when we are doing any financial analysis, earlier we were purely doing the performance analysis of any industry based on the financial parameters like profit, ROI, EPS, and many more. But later on, the other model has been also developed by Professor Robert S. Kaplan, that is Balance Scorecard, and it has covered the 4 perspective: financial, customer, internal business process, and so internal business process and learning and growth. So this model has provided the comprehensive performance analysis of organization. After the development of this model, several new things has been also presently discussion is going on. Among them, one is of ESG also. So nowadays, modern business that has been moved, that is for shareholder capitalism to shareholder capitalism. So under the shareholder capitalism, business must create value not only for shareholders, but also for employees, customers, communities, governments, and important one is the natural environment. So this transformation has led to rapid emergence of ESG and sustainability frameworks in global business governance. And second part of the is understanding ESG and sustainability. So the concept of ESG represent the three key pillars of responsible business management. First one is the environmental. So the environmental dimension examines how companies interact with the natural environment. And key environmental issues includes in it, that is climate change, carbon emissions, energy efficiency, waste management, water conservation, and biodiversity protection. So many companies today are committed to net zero carbon emissions and adopting the renewable energy production. Second parameters is of social. The social dimension focus on how organizations manage the relationship with people and society. This includes employee welfare and safety, diversity and inclusion, human rights protections, community development, and customer satisfaction. So companies that invest in social responsibility build trust and long-term stakeholders relationship. So most of the companies, those are earning the profit as per the Companies Act, they are investing for the CSR activities. Third one is the governance. So governance refers to the system through which companies are directed and controlled. So we all know that is corporate governance report that has been published each and every listed company in that annual report. So now here the governance, it includes ethical leadership, board independence, transparency and disclosure, anti-corruption measures, protection of shareholders. Right. So strong corporate governance strengthens the investor confidence and corporate reputation. Now, third one is global ESG frameworks and sustainability standards. To guide the businesses in implementing ESG principles, several international frameworks have been developed. One of the most important global initiative is the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal, that is SDGs. So UN Sustainable Development Goals, that has been 17 goals that has been developed in 2015. And to promote the sustainable development by 2030. These goals address the major global challenges such as poverty reduction, quality education, gender equality, climate action, sustainable economic growth. So many companies now align their business strategies with these SDGs. So nowadays, top management, corporate level management, they are thinking about of this SDG, and accordingly, they are developing their business strategies. And global reporting framework, the several international reporting frameworks guide, that is ESG disclosure, important framework that includes, that is first one is GRI, that is called as a global reporting initiative, that is sustainable reporting standards. Then SASB, that is Sustainability Accounting Standard Board, industry specific ESG metrics. Then TDFD, the Task Force on Climate Related Financial Disclosures, that relates the climate risk disclosures. Then ISSB, that is International Sustainability Standard Board, that is Global Sustainability Reporting Standard. So these frameworks promotes the transparency, comparability, and accountability in sustainability reporting. So now, with this, now ESG and Indian corporate governance framework. So India has also made significant progress in integrating ESG into corporate governance. So the Security and Exchange Board of India, SEBI, introduced the Business Responsibility and Sustainability report, that is called as a BRSR framework. So under this framework, large listed companies must disclose their ESG performance and sustainability initiative. So this initiative encourages the companies to improve environmental performance, strengthen the corporate governance, and enhance the social responsibility. So India is therefore emerging as an important participant in the global sustainability movement. So now embedding ESG into future-ready business model. So the next question is how companies can integrate ESG into their core business strategy. So embedding ESG requires organizational commitment, strategic alignment, and cultural transformation. So leadership commitments that includes the ESG integration must start from top leadership and board of directors. So leader must define sustainability vision, ESG targets, and ethical corporate culture. So integration with business strategy, so that ESG must be integrated into corporate strategy, capital investment decision, product innovation, and supply chain management. So companies should align their strategies with long-term sustainability goals. So then sustainable innovation. So sustainability often drives the innovation. So future-ready companies are developing electric vehicle, renewable energy solution, circular economy products, and environmental friendly packaging. So sustainability can therefore become a source of competitive advantage. So responsible supply chain. So supply chain are often largest source of environmental and social risk. So companies must ensure suppliers follows labor standards, environmental practices, and ethical law. So responsible sources improves the corporate reputation and operational resilience. Now we can see what is going on India and around in world that is related to the ESG practices. Suppose if we can take the examples of Tesla. So that is one of the notable examples because which focuses on accelerating the transition to sustainable energy. So its business model includes electric vehicles, renewable energy solutions, and battery storage technology. So Tesla demonstrates how sustainability can drive technological innovation and new market creation. Then second example of Unilever. So Unilever has been launched its sustainable living plan that focus on reducing the environmental impact, improving the health and hygiene, supporting sustainable agriculture. So Unilever demonstrate how sustainability can enhance the brand reputation and customer loyalty. Now come to our country. One of the trusted brand in the India is Tata Group. So Tata Group is the remarkable example for responsible business. So because they focused on ethical governance, community development, and sustainable industrial growth. So their initiative includes the renewable energy investment and large-scale social welfare program. Next, IT giant, that is Infosys. So a global technology company known for its strong ESG performance. So Infosys has achieved carbon neutrality and invested heavily in renewable energy, green campuses, employee skill development, and digital education program. So this initiative demonstrates how technology companies can lead sustainability transformation. So now when any organization wants to implement ESG in their organization, so they are presently facing the several challenges. So that is called as a lack of standardized global reporting system, high implementation cost, limited awareness in some organization, risk of greenwashing, difficulty in measuring the social impact. So therefore, companies must adopt genuine, transparent, and measurable ESG strategies. So that is the challenges each and every corporate they are facing. So now in these situations, when we are thinking about ESG and its implements, so at the same time, academic institutions like university and top business school and all other institutions that can also play an important role because of promoting that sustainability cultures and that will also helpful like sustainability research, ESG curriculum development, industry collaboration, responsible leadership education. So future business leader must be trained to think beyond the profit and considered ethical and sustainable decision making. So now the future business that will depend on how effectively companies balance, that is economic growth, environmental sustainability, and social responsibility. So that will be the new model for the future. It means to measure the overall performance of any corporate that should be based on economic growth of the organization, how they are managing environmental sustainability and social responsibility also. So future-ready companies will those that are responsible, transparent, innovative, and sustainable. So in other words, the future business lies in combining purpose with profit. So let me conclude with my session with important thoughts. That is, how can we maximize profit? So today's question is the broader and meaningful. How can we create sustainable value for society and future generation? It means earlier we were thinking about maximization of profit only. But now that phenomenon, that philosophy has been also changed. And now we have to think, it means how can we create sustainable value for society and future generations. So embedding ESG into business model is not only a regulatory requirement, but it is a strategic necessity for long-term survival and responsible growth. If business, government, and academic institutions working together, we can build economic system that is prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable. So let us work together to create the business that not only generate wealth, but also protect our planet and improve the human well-being. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjay, for those valuable insights on embedding ESG and sustainability into future ready business models. Sir, your perspective has provided us with a clear understanding of how organizations can integrate responsible and sustainable practices into their long term strategies. Thank you, sir. Participants, if you have any questions, you can post. Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
How can organizations effectively embed this ESG and sustainability principles into their business models while still maintaining their profitability and long-term competitiveness?
So first one is that top management commitments, that is being ethical leadership. Okay, each and every organization is for profit only. But if we think only on that, many organizations, they are earning huge amount of profit. If it has been diverted for such activity and for our next generation, and it is essential. So it on the top of it, only the one word answer is ethical leadership. We have to think for others also. We have to think for the planet also. And then that earth will survive and our next and next generation will get the benefits of it. Otherwise, we will consume everything. Then what about the next? So that start from top management commitment. Based on that, they have to develop the strategy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Because in India now, many companies, they have been also disclosing in their annual reports, ESG scores is also available. Even I did one research work on ESG and financial performance. 3-4 months back, I had organized one seminar, that is in Indian Institute of Advanced Studies, Simla, where we had a conference on sustainable development and sustainable economy that was focused on this aspect only.
Okay, sir. Okay, good.
Sir, exactly. So, Ram Kumar, I have a question.
Yes, Father.
To the professor.
Yes,
Professor, as you just now said, many corporations, proudly publish, these ESG reports. Yet, environmental degradation and social inequality continue to grow. That's one area we are experiencing. In this context, are we witnessing? I'm just asking this question: are we witnessing genuine transformation in business models, or has ESG become merely a sophisticated branding exercises?
Okay, rightly you have observed. Presently, some of the companies using that ESG things in that way, but when there will be accounting standards will be developed, and when it become mandatory, then it really comes to in force to disclose what they are doing for this activity. But not only all these companies they are doing in that way, but very genuine players are also there. And as per your observation, some they are also putting in that way. So obviously, your observation is correct in that.
Okay. The second clarification to you in the form of question, as we speak about the future-ready businesses, what new competencies and the mindsets should the next generation of leaders develop to integrate this ESG principles meaningfully into strategy, innovation, and everyday business practices.
So because of in India is a large country, and even we say that movement should start and involvement of all the stakeholders are important. From industry, society, NGO, if all start this movement, suppose at presently we are seeing many companies, they are providing packaging material. We will see outside the roads, tons and tons that side of material is available. Even it is not desktop. So what will happen? So even when I may talk with one of the big companies in my city, they are producing such product. I asked them, so why you are not using that material in a packing material for this product? So then they said, it is presently, it is cheaper. Plastics material, like whatever may be available, it is very cheaper, but alternatives is available. When it becomes mandatory, then and that is become possible. Otherwise, in India, and everywhere we see that types of these practices, that is not good for the future. Also, so such initiative, even being a buyer, we have to think if that movement has been started, that even for that purpose, we all educational institutes can start that movement and educate the society, so that will help for the future model.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Professor.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Is Dr. Ram there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Yes. Shall we close and move on, Dr. Ram?
Thank you very much for inviting me and being
thank
a
you,
part
sir.
of
Thank you. Thank you so
organization.
much.
I'm very happy to see
Yes,
you
sir.
on this platform.
Thank you very much, sir, for being with us for the session, for the keynote session, for this wonderful topic. Thank you so much, sir.
Congratulations to your entire team.
Yes, sir. On behalf of our father director and on behalf of our institution and on behalf of our faculty members, I profoundly thank you for being with us for this keynote session. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Dr. Sharon, Architect Sharon Hanna is there for the next keynote session.
Yes, ma'am. You can go ahead.
Yeah, shall we move on to the fourth keynote address?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll now proceed to our fourth keynote session. It's my pleasure and privilege to invite Architect Sharon Hanna Dinesh, Assistant Professor of PhD Institute of Architecture and Planning, Coimbatore. She will now speak on green infrastructure and resilient cities, architecture's contribution to sustainable business ecosystems. I feel happy to say a few words about her before she proceeds for the keynote talk. Sharon Hanna Dinesh, founder and principal architect of Sharon Architects. She holds a Master of Architecture from National Institute of Technology, Trichy, and has over 6 years of professional experience in designing residential, corporate, retail, and high-rise projects. In addition to her architectural practice, she serves as an assistant professor at the PhD Institute of Architecture and Planning, where she mentors aspiring architects and bridges academic learning with professional practice. She was honored in 2022 with the upcoming and emerging architecture and interior design firm of the year award for her innovative contributions to architecture. A registered member of the Council of Architecture and an accredited professional of the Indian Green Building Council, she is deeply committed to sustainable and environmentally responsible design. With great pleasure, I now invite Architect Sharon Hanna Dinesh to deliver the keynote address. Over to Sharon.
Thank you. I hope I'm audible to everyone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me here. I'm really grateful to Ziva, Dr. Father John, and Dr. Rita for having me and giving me this opportunity to present the keynote speech. As you heard from my introduction, I'm an architect, and some of you may be wondering what business an architect has, in addressing business professionals. But let me tell you something. Architecture has always played a pivotal role, in how the world did business so far, since the dawn of time. And I'm here to explain how. So let me share my screen with you. Yeah. So today I'll be presenting on green infrastructure and resilient cities, architecture's strategic contribution to sustainable businesses. So what is architecture? Anyone has any idea what architecture is? The first thing that comes to your mind is, designing beautiful buildings. That's what everyone thinks what an architect does. But above and beyond that, an architect designs the built environment itself. So it's about how buildings, landscape, transport, networks, and amenities all function together, and how a city functions, and how people think, live, and do, and move about doing their business. So this is holistically what architecture does, beyond public conception that is just about designing buildings. So now, knowing this is important because good architecture drives business success, right? It influences productivity, real estate value. When you see a building that looks good and a city that looks amazing, the real estate value of that city exponentially rises. And it also plays a pivotal role in logistics and sustainability. So, simply put, better cities always create better economies. There's a reason why people always move to Chennai and Bangalore and Bombay. It's because the city is inviting, and even though it's an urban sprawl, people always go there because they think those cities are have better opportunities for everyone. To help you understand how architecture and business go hand in hand, let me give you a hypothetical scenario. Okay, imagine you're all global CEOs. You are all going to be future global CEOs, and that's pretty cool to think about it. And I'm here addressing future CEOs, which is pretty amazing, and I'm so glad to do it. So let's imagine you're running a multi-billion-dollar company, and you're the CEO, and one day, let's say something bad happens, and the city at which your office is based at floods. What happens when that happens? Your employees cannot come to the office to work, the road collapses, the electricity lines fail, your mobile networks, everything comes to a halt. What happens when all of this happens is your businesses fail, and you tend to lose millions and millions of dollars in just one day, which is so sad. This is why we need resilient cities, right? So I guess now you understand a little bit about how architecture is not just about buildings. It's also about the holistic design of buildings and how people interact with each other and how the economy as such grows together. So many of you guys have to know that cities generate about 80% of the world's GDP, not from villages, although villages help contribute, but the cities, the major cities, they help about 80%, which is a huge number. And it is projected by 2050 that almost 70% of people will be living in cities, which doesn't mean that people will move to cities. It's just that the existing cities will grow exponentially. So the future of business is really the future of cities itself. Then, fine. Now let's bring into the context the biggest factor, climate. You might understand, I'm not sure if you know how climate plays into this, but I'm pretty sure you all are aware of the climate change activist Greta Thunberg and many others like her. To help you understand the start and existence of such climate activists, let's go back to imagining you all as global CEOs and your city flooding hypothetically, right? It just goes on to show how much climate change is not just about, it's not just an environmental issue, but it's also an economic issue. So for businesses, climate risk is equal to financial risk. So that's why these people, are fighting so hard to bring balance about the climate and save the energy. There are renewable sources of energy, non-renewable sources of energy, and all that comes into play here. Now, now only here comes the need for resilient cities. Do you know what's the meaning of resilience? It's something that's strong enough to stand the test of time, and it can recoil and come back with after a massive change. It can recover back to what it was, and sometimes even better. So a resilient city keeps functioning during such shocks. So we have a lot of climatic catastrophes like floods, earthquakes, a city that can come back after such major change and shock. That city is becoming a resilient city. And for the business, this means stable operations, right? So when you're doing businesses and your city fails and there's something happening, your business should again start functioning after this happens. So for business, a resilient city means a stable operations, reliable infrastructure, and most importantly, continuous growth. So resilience now becomes a business strategy. That's why we're here talking about resilient cities. So now that we know what a resilient city is, let's go on to know more about green infrastructure. So what is green infrastructure? Is it just painting the buildings green? Sadly, no. If it was that easy, it would be so amazing, but that's not the case. So green infrastructure means using nature itself as infrastructure, like your trees, your parks and your water bodies, your roofs, green roofs, having plants on your roofs, all is integrating nature into your infrastructure is green infrastructure. So what happens when you infuse nature into infrastructure is you control the flood, water gets controlled, your land becomes cooler, and the air quality, the pollution gets controlled. All that is the outcome of green infrastructure. So in this slide, you can see the difference between two images, like gray infrastructure and green infrastructure. So what you see in this gray infrastructure is mostly concrete heavy, right? It's degrading, it's single purpose, and it's full of concrete and so gray and has no life to it. But then when you move on to green infrastructure, you see all these trees and you can see that the air is so clean and people would want to live there, the water is clean. And also you can see that these are all renewable. It keeps renewing over and over again. So nature solves problems better than machines. I think we can all agree to it. So why should a business professional care about green infrastructure? Why? The answer is very simple. Like you saw in the previous slide, green cities attract talent, right? So why do people go to Singapore and the cities that look pretty? It's because all the talented people go there, they try their luck to find a job there. So green cities, they attract talent. It also subsequently increases property value and boosts investments. It invites investors to invest in the city, which is pretty amazing. And people want to live and work in such a city that is attractive, healthy, and sustainable, and most importantly, a city that has investment potential. I mean, I would like to work and live in a city that's pretty and beautiful and clean, and I'm sure everyone would agree with me on that. To put into perspective how much architecture is very important for a business professional to consider is buildings alone consume about 40% of the global energy, which is huge. As in, buildings consume, like for the building to run the electricity and for the building entirely to sustain, it needs 40% of the global energy, which is very huge. But smart design, like integrating photovoltaic panels and a lot of other energy reduction equipments, we can reduce 50 to 70% of the energy use, which is massive. So how does a green building help business professionals is it lowers the operating cost. Any idea what operating cost is? So operating cost is the money that is required to maintain the building, that is operating cost, and thereby it increases property values. I would purchase a building that requires less energy to maintain, and it also has sustainable attributes to it. So I would like a building and I would probably purchase it. So it increases property value, and green buildings have proven to drive improved employee production. So let's say, I'm not sure if you've been to buildings that have these green walls. It looks pretty, yes. Also, it actually cleans the air that you're in. Okay, so it drives. So when you're in a workplace and there's a plant there, it naturally boosts your mood and might not be very significant, but it does help a little bit. So it improves employee productivity. So green buildings are not just sustainable; they are economically very smarter. So when cities start investing in green systems, starting at the policy level itself, they create economic momentum. So why policy level start is very important is because I can be here as an architect thinking about green buildings, and you can be there as business professionals thinking about driving this into execution. But if it doesn't happen at the policy level, doesn't reach the maximum momentum. So policy level involvement is very important. So when that happens, when the holistic development happens, property values rise, tourism increases, and thereby investors would flock to that city. And now a lot of people, a lot of government officials, a lot of people who are managing the city, they are starting to get aware of this, they are educated on this, and now a lot of people are turning to this nature-based solutions to make the cities better. And also because of the less and less availability of renewable or non-renewable resources, people are now slowly moving to nature-based solutions. So to understand this even better, let's look at some global case studies. Singapore, like I said, everybody wants to go there. Why do you think a lot of people dream of working in Singapore? Do you know that Singapore is called as a city in nature, as in there's nature within the city itself? Do you know this? So this fact for you today. So Singapore is called as a city in nature, and Singapore proves that a dense global city can still be green. So wherever you look in Singapore, it's green. It's not like our Indian cities where wherever you look is just concrete and bridges and flyovers and roads and buildings. Wherever you look in Singapore, it's green. Every building has something green on it. Every city has every walkway, every flyover has something green in it. So nearly half the city is covered in vegetation, thereby improving climate, quality of life, and everything. So the whole of Singapore's climate has subsequently improved. People love being there, people love working there, and that's why a lot of people, investors flock there. So this is how Singapore has, developed into a giant nation now. Moving on, Copenhagen. Does anyone know where Copenhagen is? It's the capital city of Denmark in Europe. So another fun fact about Copenhagen is it's known as a city of cloudburst management. What is cloudburst? Cloudburst is simply, it's raining and then suddenly cloud bursts and rain. There's heavy rain. So in Copenhagen, half of the out of 365 days, 180 days it rains. So half of the year it rains. What happens when a city has a lot of rain? What happens when it's always raining? It starts to flood. So what did Copenhagen do to mitigate this issue? Copenhagen has parks that doubles as flood reservoirs. So during heavy rains, these parks will act as reservoirs, and then when there's no rain, these same spaces act as public parks. So this is how Copenhagen has brought in infrastructure and green by mitigating their issues. So let's go back to you. For MBA students, our future business leaders, sustainability is a massive opportunity. Why? Why? Because nowadays green real estate and climate finance are becoming major investment sectors. So you guys come into play in driving this and making the world a better place. And nowadays, investors not only they before and all investors see potential for profit and they invest. Nowadays, it's not the same. Investors now evaluate companies using ESG. I think the previous keynote speaker was talking about ESG. So ESG is generally basically environmental, social, and governance metrics. So ESG is no longer optional. It's mandatory now. It's becoming mandatory now in upcoming days and quite presently now itself. So sustainability is now becoming a core financial indicator. If you think only architects can solve urban challenges or only business professionals can solve urban challenges, you're very wrong. No single sector can solve any urban challenge. Yes, each sector plays a very important role. As architects, we design. As business professionals, you execute. And as government employees, developers, investors, they make this come into fruition. So all sectors play a different role of their own in building a green and resilient city. So all of us play a very important role. It's just not me or you, it's all of us together. Thus, cities that succeed in this, succeed in foreseeing the future and building a city that is green, resilient, tech-enabled, very importantly, tech-enabled now that AI is everywhere. And we pay money through our GPay and all. So the tech-enabled city and a city that is human-centered will become a good city, a city that is prosperous in the future, whereas a city that is, falling back and doesn't pay much importance to this and fail to adapt will face economic decline. So what are we doing to help our cities reach the momentum? So for that to happen, what are we doing together is we need to collaborate. Future cities require collaborations between everybody. We need to be good to each other and collaborate between architects, business leaders, technologists, policymakers. Only then innovation happens, when all of these worlds connect and listen to each other, gather ideas and innovate, sit and come up with solutions for the cities of the future. An architect, like I said, an architect may play a major role in designing, but future business leaders such as yourself will carry it to the next level and drive sustainability through investment, technology, and strategy. Visionary leaders like yourself, like all of you here, so proud of you, all of you here will shape the business models of future cities. You devise what is good and what will be better for the city. You devise business models. So you are very much needed for the betterment of a resilient city, for the city that's yet to come. So what happens when a city is moving towards resilient goals, green infrastructure? It opens up a lot of investment opportunities, right? A lot of firms specializing in green real estate, renewable energy like your PV panels, and they all have a massive market opportunity to come, and we all have a massive market opportunity to invest, and thereby a city is transitioning into a sustainable city and becoming a better city for each and every one of us to live in. Cities will require trillions and trillions of dollars in investment, and businesses that innovate in these sectors, particularly in these sectors, will shape the urban economy of the future, which is pretty amazing. It's so cool and innovative, and it helps broaden your ideas on makes you also more engaged in the development of the city, and rather just saying, I come from here, I live here, I studied here. It helps you be more connected to your city and making your city more resilient for the future and for the present. That's what I think. And to sum it up, we've seen that cities are not just physical spaces. Like cities function as as an organism itself. They are economic ecosystems. They're not just ecosystems with buildings and plants and lakes and whatever. They are economic ecosystems. And architecture provides the physical systems that make cities work, like buildings, infrastructure, and urban design that respond to climate and environmental challenge. But businesses provide the capital, innovation, and scalability needed to implement these solutions. I can sit here and give hundreds and hundreds of solutions, but we need business professionals to help implement these solutions. Very important, isn't it? So you all, future global CEOs and future visionary leaders, play a massive role in how the world is going to be in the future, the very near future. When architecture and businesses work together, they create cities that are resilient, sustainable, and economically competitive. And the decision we make today will shape cities and the economies of tomorrow. And that is very important in how we see our city, and it's about our future as well. So we all play a very important role. And that's my very short presentation on how important resilient cities and green infrastructure is from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sharon, for your wonderful presentation. And over to the floor for the questions.
Hello, ma'am. May I?
Hello, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for a nice presentation, ma'am. Let me focus the current topic, that is, can you highlight on the environmental risks which are associated with mining and construction in the Arivali Hills, ma'am?
I'm sorry?
Environmental risks which are associated with the mining and construction which is going in the Arivali Hills.
Yeah. So, yeah. So mining and construction, it has its own pros and cons. We need to understand the limit, and sometimes government doesn't intervene, sometimes government does, and the people who are engaged in it need to know where to stop mining. And it does have a lot of environmental impact when we start destroying the forest, when we start destroying the local environment of the thing. So we need to know where to stop when it comes to mining or quarrying and all that stuff. So to understand environmentally, it's not just about greed. We need to be aware of the future. We need to be aware of the surroundings and keep in mind, have a good conscience and know where to stop.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions from the floor?
In infrastructure, if it did, how much improvement has it made?
Tell your name, please.
I am Kassis, ma'am.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Did India take any initiative to build green infrastructure? If it did,
it has.
How
India
much?
has. How much is the question? When we compare India to what other cities or other nations are doing globally, India is a little bit back, but we're still catching up when it comes to green infrastructure. Like Rajasthan is having a lot of green infrastructure movements. Let's take Bangalore, some parts of Chennai and other small cities. We are at this first step. It's always to take the first step, and we're at the first step, and we still have lots to go, but we still have time. Not sure if we have time, but we still have lots to go. when we compare our cities with the global cities, we are very back, very fallen behind, very much behind. So like I said, it's our responsibility as each and every individual to be consciously aware of what's happening in our cities and help with the momentum, to speed up the momentum. So India is on the right path for green infrastructure, but it's a little bit behind when compared to the global scenario.
And then in what ways a company can go towards green infrastructure, ma'am?
So when this is a question. So when let's say you're building a building, okay, you're building your company, you're starting from scratch. You have to keep in mind the materials that you're purchasing, the equipments that you're purchasing, the equipments that do not consume a lot of energy, materials that help cool down the temperature that is within the building, so that your cooling load by your AC and all is reduced. So these are some of the strategies that you can adapt to make your building green and sustainable and energy complacent.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Father?
Yes.
Father, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I can ask. Yes.
Yes, Father.
Sharon, thank you for sharing this wonderful insight on this
Thank you,
topic.
Father. Thank you for having me, Father.
Yeah, I have one or two clarification. One is, see, many cities celebrate these iconic green buildings,
Yes.
but urban systems remain environmentally fragile. So, is green architecture sometimes becoming a symbolic gesture rather than a transformative force for resilient urban, economies?
I would have to partially agree with you on this. Green buildings are a stepping force. So maybe we can start with the green buildings and then thereby, inspire the cities to move towards sustainability and green infrastructure. And like you said, iconic buildings of cities play a major role in influencing other parts of the cities to go towards this uh, green infrastructure, but doesn't necessarily holistically influence the entire city as such.
Okay, very good. Now, the second maybe clarification is, if cities continue to expand with the conventional infrastructure while simply adding a few green architectural elements, are we truly, genuinely building resilient cities, or merely decorating unsustainable urban systems with the language of sustainability?
That's an amazing question, Father. The thing is, while it's just some sort of decoration, it does aid little bit in improving the quality of the city, but that's not enough. The city as such should implement whatever there are a lot of strategies that you can implement to make the cities better, but decorating little small things here and there might add little bit improvement to the city, but not very much to a point there's much change, or let's say maybe it can help about 5%, but 5 to 10%, but there's 90% that needs improvement. I wouldn't say that they're just decorative pieces. It does help some way, but not entirely.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Father.
Over to Madam Rita.
Okay. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father, for the valid questions that you put forth to Ms. Sharon. Now, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Let me close Sharon's keynote talk. Thank you, Architect Sharon, for your insightful reflections on sustainable and resilient cities. Your reflections on creative thinking, sustainable perspectives, and practical experiences greatly enriched our conference discussions. The participants truly benefited from your expertise. We sincerely appreciate your time and contribution to the success of our conference. Thank you very much for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes. Over to Dr. Pradeep Kumar for announcement of venues to the paper presenters.